You've come to the right place. You're about to watch an amazing tutorial on how to make a website using the Avada WordPress theme. I'll teach you how to create a WordPress website step by step. Look at how awesome everything looks and how nicely it functions. Seriously, you'd pay about $5,000 for this kind of thing with the web developer, but I'll show you how you can do it for next to nothing in about 90 minutes. I'll show you how to add all of these cool panels and elements and widgets to your website as well. Go and check out the emcthemedemo1.com on your mobile phone as well. So here's the mobile demo. Check it out for yourself on your mobile phone. You'll see here that it responds perfectly to the size of your mobile device. And this is absolutely automatic. Seriously, it's just going to take you 90 minutes, so follow along with what I do here and you'll have this awesome looking WordPress website using the Avada WordPress theme. Here is a brief overview of what we'll go through in this tutorial. Now, the first thing I'm going to take you through is getting online. Now, for some of you, you may already be online and you only want to know how to set up the Avada theme. So if that's you, please do look in the description below and you'll be able to skip the whole getting online section, which goes for about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you need to do that, just look in the description below and you'll be directed to the area for setting up your website. However, for the rest of you, getting online is extremely important because, of course, without getting online, you cannot set up a website. So we're going to spend the next 10 minutes doing that. You'll need two things: a domain name, about $12 a year or so, and it's just your .com domain name, whatever your business name is. It's your choice. You will own that domain. It's only $12 per year. That's literally $1 a month. Web hosting, approximately $7 per month. And hosting is just another way of saying a computer where all of your files are stored that are necessary to run your website. And that includes all of your content, your pages, and everything else that loads up when a website loads. That's all stored on something called a web hosting server. And it's as cheap as $7 a month for good hosting. And I'll show you where you can get that in a bit. Then setting up the website, the Avada theme design costs $59 from ThemeForest. And the advantage of that is you don't have to pay $5,000 to a web developer to get some design done. It's all there and all ready to use. And then last but not least, setting up and configuring everything costs you nothing because this tutorial shows you exactly what to do step by step. Therefore, what's the total website cost? About $10 a month. So you really can't go wrong here. So now the first thing we need to do is get you online. So if you look in the description below this video, you'll see a link for hosting. Just click on that link. And it'll take you to this site here for HostGator. Now, this is the company that I use personally, and I've been using them for nearly 10 years for all of my websites, my business websites, my e-commerce sites, everything. So look, if you want to choose another web host, that's absolutely fine. But just keep in mind the rest of this tutorial will be done using my HostGator account. So if you really want to follow me step by step and get everything set up exactly the way I do, then I recommend sticking to what I'm using, but it's completely your choice. So you'll see a couple of different options. You'll see web hosting and WordPress hosting. Yes, we're building a WordPress site, but there's no reason we need WordPress hosting specifically. Now it costs more, and you can read about that a bit later. What I use is basic web hosting, and to be honest, basic web hosting is super fast and it is absolutely more than enough for most or 99% of websites out there. So it's cheaper than the WordPress hosting as well. So you can read about that in your own time, but look, I'm going to stick to web hosting. That's what I use. So it's really your choice. Choosing a plan, there are 3 on offer. Ignore business, there's stuff you don't need there. Baby and Hatchling, pretty much identical, except Hatchling allows you to host one website and Baby allows you to host a number of websites. Now you can always upgrade from this to this. So if you're in doubt, go with the cheapest option, the single website, the Hatchling plan, and click on sign up now. Here you can register a new domain. If you've already owned a domain from somewhere else, maybe you've registered elsewhere, just click this tab and enter your domain that you own. Otherwise, in this field, just enter the domain that you want to own. So it might just be your business name. What the service will do is just check to see if that name is available. And if it's not, it'll just come up with an indicator like you see here. Now, I'll just pick something else. Cool. It's a personal preference of mine to choose .com. Now, when it comes to setting up your website, it does not make any difference whatsoever if you choose a .com, a .net, a .org, biz, info. It really does not matter. Everything in this tutorial will stay exactly the same. It's just my personal preference because customers always naturally assume that your website ends in a .com, so I like to choose a .com. But, you know, I've seen businesses use .net as frequently as I've seen .com, so it's really up to you. Scroll down. You've got a couple of different billing cycle terms you can choose from, and you can see here there's some discount, but I'll show you how to get a better discount than the one that you get by default, so bear with me. I tend to choose either a 12 months or a 24-month billing cycle, and the longer you sign up for upfront, the cheaper it becomes per month, which is the case with most things, buying in bulk. So it's completely up to you how you want to pay. Now let's go with the 12-month. I will actually sign up for a 12-month hosting account for this particular website demo that I'm setting up for you. Choose an account username. And choose a security pin. Okay, we'll come back to the billing info details. Just skip that for a second. In additional services, I tend to remove any optional additional services. Now, these are not absolutely essential. To be honest, they're not things that I use myself. They are not things that you necessarily need to set up your website. So it's completely up to you. It's your choice. Now, in the coupon code section, I did tell you that I'll give you a coupon code which gets you a bigger discount. So instead of the default coupon code that it shows you, use this one instead. eMedia Coach. Then click on the validate button. Before you do that, just look at your amount due. You'll notice that after using this coupon, it'll give you a bigger discount and the amount due is less. And this will always be the case, so make sure you take advantage of this coupon code. Then go back up and complete your billing details. Now, of course, I'm going to blur my screen while I do this because I've got some confidential billing details. Make sure the email address you enter here is correct. Reason being, you'll receive a confirmation email after you complete your order. You've got a couple of different options for payment, credit card and PayPal. Okay, once all of that is entered, scroll back down the page. Just confirm the details of your order. Click on this checkbox here, which just states that you've read the terms and conditions. After you check out, you will be the sole owner of your new domain and you'll have hosting for 12 months. And this is all you'll be paying for hosting and domain for the next year. or however long you subscribe for. So it's really cheap, as you can see, when you put it in comparison to when you're paying web developers to build things for you. So when you're ready, just click the checkout button and I'll show you the next step, which involves installing WordPress on your website. From time to time, I may receive referral credits from HostGator, and to be honest, this just helps me pay the bills and bring these tutorials to you free of charge. So I really thank you for your support in advance. Okay, so click checkout and I'll show you what you need to do next. So this is the email that you'll receive from HostGator when you complete your order. And you'll see it has details such as your control panel link, which is very important. I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. It's got your username, password, and the domain that you've just purchased or used to open the account. It's got two more pieces of information, and that is these name servers. Now, if you purchased your domain elsewhere and not from HostGator, you will need to go to your domain account and add these two name servers so that your domain points to your hosting. And if you're having any troubles with that, or if you need help, just go to emediacoach.com/help and you'll be able to get some assistance there. You'll see a link called Troubleshooting FAQs. And if you need to connect your domain to your hosting, just read that and you should be able to do that yourself. Otherwise, get in touch with your domain company. Okay, so now that you've got that, the next thing you need to do is access your control panel and log in on the next screen using your username and password that's given to you in this email. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, I'll just copy and paste the username and password from the confirmation email. And then log in. And this is known as your hosting cPanel account. And all the stuff here, you won't really need to access this page too often. The thing we'll need to do now is install WordPress. So if you go down and search for a link called Quick Install, click on that. And then if you go down, you'll be able to see a link called Install WordPress, or you can click on the WordPress in the sidebar. So I want you to go ahead and do that because we're going to be installing the WordPress platform onto your website. There are a few different options. All you need to do is use this free installation. Install WordPress for free. Now in this field here, your domain should automatically populate. If it doesn't, just go to the drop down here and select the domain. Leave this field here blank. We don't want to install it on a path. We want to install WordPress on the domain itself. Enter an admin email, and this should be an email that you can easily access. Give your website a title. Enter an admin user and a first name and last name if you like. Then go down and install WordPress, and WordPress will be installed onto your domain. You can close this pop-up or any other pop-ups that come up. This is the area you want to pay attention to. So if you view details, you'll be able to see when your installation is complete. There you go. So the next thing you need to do is access your WordPress dashboard. And now if you just open this link in a new page or a new tab, so what I'm doing is just right clicking and opening in a new tab. You need to use this username and this password given to you to log into WordPress. Okay, so this is the screen you should see. Now just note that sometimes it can take up to about 20 minutes for this page to load. So if it doesn't work for you, come back in 20 minutes or half an hour, reload this URL over here, yourwebsite.com/wp-admin. So just come back and eventually this page will load. Once again, if it doesn't load, just contact me on emediacoach.com/help check out this page or enter your details in this form, and I'll definitely help you out to the best I can. And most people get a resolution within a couple of days, so feel free to contact me if you have any problems. Okay. So, welcome to your WordPress dashboard. This is the admin control panel to everything or to manage everything on your WordPress website. Now, the first thing that I recommend you to do is to change the password for your login. Just keep note of the URL, your website /wp-admin. Now, every time you get to that login page, you'll be prompted with that admin username and password. So to change that password, go to users and all users. Because to be honest, you're never going to remember this. Click on your username. Now scroll down and we'll generate a new password. You can choose a strong password that they choose, or you can enter any password that you want to use to log in. Just confirm the use of your password and update your profile. Let me just log out and just make sure that's working. There you go. Most of this tutorial will be conducted from within this administration dashboard. This is basically the engine behind your entire WordPress website. And this is what enables you to make a website with WordPress so easy. And you'll see that in the next few sections of this tutorial. The next thing you need to do is just delete any default plugins. So if you just go to the plugins area on your sidebar, and click on install plugin. What a plugin is, it's basically additions or additional functionality to a basic WordPress site. And to give you an example, the different types of plugins there are, you can have a plugin for a contact form, you can have a plugin for an image gallery, you can have a plugin for almost anything. Just by default, there are a bunch of plugins that are installed when you install WordPress, and to be honest, you don't really need them, and it creates more mess than good. So I'd like you to deactivate them. So if any of these are active or installed, just click on them and then go to the drop down and deactivate, and then click apply. They'll all be deactivated, and then you can even go in and delete all of them, because to be honest, you don't need them at all. We will be installing plugins later on, and I'll show you exactly which plugins you need to install. So yep, we want to delete all of these files and data. Cool. Okay, now it's time for the fun part, and that is to install the website theme, otherwise known as the design that your website is going to use. And of course, that is the Avada WordPress theme. So go down to the description of this video and you'll see a link to themeforest.net. Click on that link and that will take you direct to the Avada theme on the ThemeForest website. And this is the page you'll see. You can read all about Avada. You can check out all its features. You can actually even view one of its demos. Now, everything you see in its demos are things that you are going to be able to do using the Avada theme. So really, it is a limitless theme. It's all about how you design and configure, and it's all up to you. So you can really make your website look any way you want. Okay, so when you get to this page, click on Add to Cart. And you want to be able to add this product to your shopping cart. You'll have to sign up for an account with Envato or ThemeForest. Of course, you will create an account over here. So I'll just sign in using my account. And then you would check out. Now I've already purchased the Avada theme. And how do I know that? Because when I go to my account here and go to downloads, I can see that in my download list. So now I can download the theme. So I want you to go and purchase the Avada theme. I'm sure you can do that on your own. Just purchase that. Then after you do, you'll be able to see this theme in the downloads area. Now, if you click on downloads, you can either download all files and documentation, which I do recommend because there's a lot of interesting documentation in there that will help you set up your website. Of course, I'm going to be covering a lot of it, but there are other things there that will help you on how to make your website look the way you want it to look. For now, I'm going to download the installable WordPress file only. Now, this is just the design file without all the other documentation. And then save that onto your computer wherever you can access easily. I'll just save to my desktop. Okay, after it's finished downloading, here it is. All you need to do is upload that file into WordPress as a theme. Before I do that, I'll quickly just show you what the full documentation looks like. Here we go, here's the full package. There'll be a file for Mac OS, extras, the Avada theme, and then there'll be the package for Windows. You'll see all the extra stuff in there that you may need, and you can have a look at that in your own time. So that's the file that we want to install, and I'll show you how to do that now. So going back into my WordPress dashboard, once I've downloaded this installable WordPress file, all you need to do is go to Appearance and then click on Themes. Okay, now we want to add a new theme. So click on that and then upload a theme. Now browse and go to wherever it is on your computer that you stored that file, and here it is for me. And then click on Install Now, and it will install the Avada theme onto your new website. Now this can take a few minutes. It's quite a big file, so be patient. I'm not going to cut out this upload process because I want you to see exactly how long it's taking for me as well. So wait a few minutes and come back, and then you'll see what to do next. So there it is. You should see this page over here, theme installed successfully. If it doesn't, give that another shot and it should work. But when it's installed successfully, all you need to do is click on activate, and that will activate this theme for your site. Cool, so that's all done. And to show you what your website looks like right now, you can actually go and visit your website. And there it is right there. We've installed the Avada theme onto your brand new domain, and you're on the way to creating a new website. Now the fun part begins. I'll show you how to set up everything on your website, including the homepage, the contact page, adding a logo, and everything else you need to know. Next, we're going to import the demo content for this theme, and that's going to make it very easy for us to set up our website. So I've left a link in the description below that says import demo content. So just click on that and you'll get to this page over here. What we're going to be doing is importing a demo. So let's follow this through. Step 1, install the required and recommended plugins for the demo. The one we're going to install is called the Avada Classic demo. we need to install all of the plugins for the classic demo to import. So it's not too complicated, just follow along with what I show you. So first thing you need to do is install and activate the all-in-one WP plugin. Now, if you go back to your dashboard, go to plugins, click on add new. Okay, now go to upload plugin. And sorry, go back to search plugin. Search for all-in-one WP migration. And it's this one here. When you see this, install now. And then activate that plugin. Okay, that's activated. Now, we need to make sure that all these plugins are also activated to be able to import the demo content. So now all you need to do is go into Avada and plugins. So this plugins tab here, you'll see a number of plugins here, and you basically need to install and activate each one of those first before we can move any further. So let's go through and do that one by one. Some of them are really quick to install, whereas others may take a couple of minutes. So as you can see, this one here is taking a while to load. Yep, all done. Let's return to the plugin installer. Now you may not need all of these plugins, but we just need to install them to be able to import the demo content, which is going to make it very easy for us to set up our WordPress website. Okay, so all of our plugins are installed, all the Avada plugins. Next, step 3. Below is a list of the demo backup files. All you need to do is download the relevant file to your computer. So if you scroll down on this page, you'll see a number of downloads. The one we're interested in is the Demo Classic. And so let's click on that and download that and save it somewhere on your computer where you can easily access. Okay, once it's done downloading, next step, navigate to WP Admin all-in-one WP migration and import. So the plugin we just installed a couple of minutes ago, the all-in-one WP migration, we want to import a theme, a demo. So let's do that. Let's import from file. It's the one we just saved to our computer, the classic. So double click that and it will begin importing that into your site. This can take a couple of minutes, so just be patient. It will prompt you with this message. The import process will overwrite all your database, media, and plugins and themes, And yes, we do want to continue to the next step. So let's do that. Okay, now let's see the next step. Once your import is finished, you'll receive a message that will overwrite your entire site database. Click continue. We already did that. Step 7, you'll receive a success message. You'll be logged out and asked to update the WordPress database. Click on update WordPress database. So let's just close this for now. If you go anywhere on your site, you'll notice that it will say that you need to upgrade your WordPress database. So let's click on that. That should be very quick, and continue. It'll ask you to log in again. The reason is that big demo import actually reset your username and password. So now log in using these details here. So just admin and admin in this case. Cool. Now, of course, it's probably best that you go back into users and update your password from here on in. Also, update your email address because that would have overwritten your email address as well. Let's generate a new password. Cool. That's all. That's all we need to do to update or import the classic demo of Avada. Now this is what your website looks like. You'll see it has a bunch of new pages, a bunch of new content that's automatically imported into your website. Now we're going to be actually deleting most of this stuff and setting up your website, creating your website exactly the way you want it to look. Okay, now back into your dashboard area. There are just a couple of initial configurations that we need to do to set up the framework before we dive right into setting up the homepage, slider, and all the other elements that go on the homepage. You can dismiss any notices that come up. Okay, now just follow along with what I do here. In the left-hand side column, if you scroll down and go to Settings General, you should be able to upgrade or update the site title to whatever you want it to be. So that would probably be your business name in here. I'd recommend you taking out the tagline. Now in here, you'll see there's no www between the before the domain name. Now I'll show you what that does when you load your website. As you'll see, the www doesn't load. Now this is not a requirement, it's just a personal preference. I like to add www right in there, and the same thing for the next field as well. This is completely up to you. Update the email address to your own personal email address, one that you have access to, because if you forget your password, you will need to get that reset and it will be sent to this email address. And any other notifications that come from WordPress, which are very rare, but it's good to do. Save changes when you're ready. Because you just changed the www, it will ask you to log in again. So do that. Okay, cool. Next, what do we need to do? We need to update the permalink structure, and I'll show you what that is. If you go down to settings and permalinks, Any page that you create on your site right now, even if you name the page, for example, My Portfolio, it will be named with a page number, and obviously that's not ideal. If you name a page My Portfolio, you want it to be / My Portfolio, and that's proper naming convention. So select this here, post name, and then go down and save changes. Cool. Next, if you go up to pages and click on all pages, as a result of the import, you'll notice there are a bunch of new pages, 141 in fact, that have been created automatically. They are all of these pages that currently exist on your site as a result of the bulk upload. Now, the thing we can do is we can delete all of them because we don't need them. But if you want to leave some and just see how they're structured, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and delete by moving to trash. So what I did was just click on the checkbox at the top, which selects everything, and move to trash, apply. There are heaps of these, so you'll have to do this a few times. Once you've done that, I recommend you go into the trash area and do the same thing and delete all of them permanently. The reason is, if you don't delete them permanently, you won't be able to use any URLs that are already taken. For example, a page called blog, it would be yourwebsite.com/blog. Now, if you wanted to make a blog in the future, you wouldn't be able to use that URL because it's already taken. So I recommend you delete all of these pages permanently. Actually, you can just empty trash right here by clicking this button, and it'll delete everything. There we go. I recommend you go to posts as well and do exactly the same thing. There'll be a bunch of dummy posts, basically, just default posts. So I recommend you just check all of them off and move them to the trash bin. And don't forget to empty the trash as well. Okay, we are getting to the cool stuff now. What we need to do is add our homepage content, including a homepage slider and homepage setup and customization. So here's what our site looks like at the moment. And yours will probably look the same if you followed everything that I did. You'll see that it's empty. It's got some random stuff in the sidebar, but not to worry because now we're going to be creating a brand new homepage. So first, go into your dashboard and then go to pages, and we want to add a new page. Name your page home and then go to the template drop down. Choose 100% width. We want our homepage to be full width, and then click publish. Okay, now go under settings and go to reading. In front page displays, we want to choose a static page. We want to display a static page as a front page and we want that to be the home page that we just created. So go and select that from the drop down, then save all of your changes. Okay, so now your site will look like this. You'll have a home page and it'll be completely blank, and that's our blank slate to begin setting up your home page. The first thing we'll set up is a nice big image slider, which will make the website look dynamic, professional, and really modern. So go down and go to Fusion Slider. When you hover over that, you'll see two options, either to edit slides or add a slider. First, we want to add a new slider. So click on that. Let's name this one Homepage Slider. Now you've got a few options you can choose from. Slider width 100%. I want to keep it a full width slider, so I'll leave it as 100%. The height of the images in the slider. Now I recommend something between 400 and 500 pixels. So let's keep it at 450. Okay, full screen slider. No, I don't want it to be a full screen slider. I do want a full width though. You can have a look at that in your own time. It's actually pretty cool if you are after that kind of a look. Parallax scrolling. I'll actually enable that a little bit later and show you what that does. That's another cool effect. Display navigation arrows. Yes, I want to display the left and right navigation arrows on the image slider. The pagination circle. Yes, I like those circles. I'll leave that displayed. Yep, I want to autoplay the slides. I do want the slides to loop. The animation, you can either have it as fade or a slide. It's completely up to you. The speed of the slideshow. Now, the speed is in milliseconds. So 7,000 is actually 7 seconds. So you can change that depending on how many seconds you want each slide to appear before the next transition. So let's say 8 seconds. The speed of the animation is just a speed in milliseconds between each slide. And the rest you can leave as default and click on Add Slider. Now it might look like nothing's happened, but what's happened is this homepage slider has now been saved over here. So you can click on that and edit the settings at any time you wish. So now we've set up a slider. What we need to do now is add some slides. So back down to Fusion Slider, we want to add some slides. So let's click on that here. Okay, so when you're adding a new slide, just go up and click on the Add New Slide button. Give your slide a name. It can be as simple as slide 1. Background type. Ours is going to be an image, so let's leave that checked. Content alignment. If you're going to be putting any text on your slide, overlaid onto your slide, you can choose the alignment of that, and you'll see what that does in a second. Scroll down, and to be honest, I don't want to add too much on my slide. There is also the opportunity to add a button with a link. So you can do that. You can add either one button or two buttons. These are the default settings. If you want to, you can actually choose a color here, and you can edit the text over here. So perhaps I'll say click here and say I wanted to link to a URL. I can link to any URL. Actually, let's say google.com just as an example. So make sure button link equals, and you've got the two speech marks outside your URL. So you can do the same and edit this button over here. What you need to do to add an image to this slide is click on Featured Image, select Files, and from your computer just select files that you want to add to the slider. Now you can add one by one, or you can actually drag all your files into what's known as the media library and then select which one to apply to this particular slider. So you'll see all of your images upload, and this is known as your media library. You can access this anytime you want. So anytime you upload an image, it remains there, and you can access that image anytime you wish. So I'll remove that. I can choose, say, this one as my first slider and set featured image. And you want to make sure to assign this to the relevant slider. So I want to assign this slide to my homepage slider. Then click Publish. Okay, similarly, let's add 2 more slides. So back to Add New Slide. Let's say slide 2. And similarly, I'll align any content to the center. If I put any up there, I can edit the buttons if I want to. Make sure you assign it to the homepage slider and set your featured image. And because I've already uploaded the images, I don't need to upload them again. They're in my media library. So let's select this one as my second slider, set featured image, and then publish. And what I'll do is also create a third slider. Okay, so slide 3, and I'll center that one. And publish. Okay, cool. So all of our slides have been added. Now you can come in at any time and edit any one of these slides. If you want to see what slides have been added to a particular slider, go to that slider and click on the number beside it. So if I click on that 3, I'll actually be able to see which slides are assigned to this homepage slider. And of course I can go in and edit them at any time I like. Okay, so now we've added a slider and we've added slides. So what we need to do now is actually add it to our homepage. How do we do that? Okay, so go into Appearance and Theme Options. Actually, that's wrong. Go into Pages and All Pages. Go to the home page, which is now our front page, which we did a couple of minutes ago. Then scroll down. You'll see a tab for sliders. So make sure that you've selected the correct slider in this area here. So slider position, I want the slider to appear below the header. You can choose to make it appear below or above, up to you. I want the type of slider to be a fusion slider. That's the one we've set up. You can skip all the rest, select layer slider, revolution, all that stuff you don't need. You just need to make sure you select the correct fusion slider, which is the homepage slider we created. You can assign a fallback image. What that is, it actually overrides the slider on a mobile phone. So if somebody loads your website on a mobile phone, the slider won't appear. It will just be an image in its place. If you don't have a fallback image, a slider will appear on a mobile phone. So it's absolutely your choice how you want to do that. I'll upload a fallback image just by way of a demonstration. And let's say I want that image there, so click show. If I click the insert into post button, this URL pops into this area here. And this will become the image that becomes our fallback image for mobile phones. So okay, so that's done. I've enabled the correct slider settings for this to appear on our home page. So when you've done that, click Update. Now let's refresh our site to see what that looks like. There we go. We've got our beautiful homepage slider. And you'll see that after 8 seconds, it will transition onto the next slide. Now, you may choose to make slides taller, shorter. It's completely up to you. This button, remember how I added some text and a link? So if I click here, it'll actually go to google.com. What I can also add is some text above this area here. So what I need to do is go to this particular slide. So if I go to Fusion Sliders, add or edit slides, I believe that was the first slide. Okay, so here we are, the heading area. Enter the heading for your slide. So then I can update. Say I wanted to make the slider a little bit taller than 450 pixels. I can come back in here at any time, go to the home page slider, and then change the height as I wish. And then make sure you hit save or update anytime you make any changes. Cool, now let's refresh and see what that looks like. And there's the text. So there you go. If you have any questions about setting up your slider on your homepage, please do ask me in the comments below, because I'm always happy to help, and I know how important it is to get your homepage looking absolutely right. Okay, so far this is what our website looks like. As you can see, we've added our slider, and there's some space here. Now we need to basically add all the elements and panels that we want to display on our homepage, and you can configure this any way you want. But I'm going to give you a really cool way, a really simple but effective way to beginning setting up your homepage as easy as possible, and you don't have to know anything, because we're going to be using stuff that's already been set up and copy things across. And I'll show you what I mean. First, we need to get rid of this home bar over here. We don't need it, and it doesn't need to be there. So the way to do that is just go back into all pages and go into whatever you've called your home page, so home. Then scroll down, and all of these Fusion page options are all page specific. So if you make any changes here, they will all reflect on that particular page, not the whole website. The thing we need to change is this page title bar. At the moment it's default. We want to hide that page title bar. So if I just go and update that, and you should see that disappear now. There we go. Now we've got a good blank slate to begin adding all of our homepage components. So like I said, I'm going to be showing you a slightly different approach to setting up your homepage, and it's one that I've noticed that beginners adopt to very easily, and to be honest, I think I'm the first to demonstrate this approach. So here we go. For the purposes of clarity, this is the homepage I'm going to show you how to set up. So all of these different elements you see here, a call to action, a few revolving panels, a nice looking feature there, some checkboxes, some services that link off, this nice counter over here, a nice map, some accordions, and some testimonials. Now I will show you how to add each one of these elements in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So first things first, make sure that you are on the page that is your front page or your home page, and if you followed me, it should be the page called home. You'll see something here called the Fusion Page Builder. If you click on that, you'll see a range of options or containers that you can add that are varying widths, and you can basically drag and drop a couple of containers, then go to Builder Elements, then drag and drop, say, a Google map, and then you can click on this icon here to edit the element, and then you can configure all of this stuff. Then you can add more elements, etc., etc. Now, this is the way you can do it, but I'm going to show you a slightly different way to make it a little bit easier for you. So let me just delete what I've added here. But anyway, that's basically what the Fusion Builder is. It allows you to add any one of these elements on the page at any time. It's like a nice drag and drop functionality. So you've got obviously column options. which allow you to select which column widths you want to enter or add. You've got the elements to add. You can create your own custom templates. And what I'm going to be using are some pre-built templates. Okay, so now here's the cool part. So I just want you to right click on Add New in Pages and open it in a new tab or window. This will open up a new page and just name it something random like temporary page. And you can publish it if you want. Actually, you don't even need to publish it. Just have it sitting there. Go to Fusion Page Builder. Now, the first thing I want to add is a call to action along with the link. Okay, so if you click on the link below, the one that takes you to the Avada theme details, it'll take you to this page here. So what I want you to do is go down and find the classic demo, this one here. Now, let's have a look at a couple of different home pages. There are a few different versions here that you can look up in your own time. So let's say version 14. Okay. I don't want to edit anything from this version into my site yet. I'll just close that. Let's try version 4. Okay, cool. What I want to add is this element here. Text and a call to action link button. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so I know this is homepage version 4. It's one of their pre-built templates, one of Avada's pre-built templates. Homepage version 4. And now what I can do is I can go to this temporary page, go to pre-built templates, click on Home 4, and it will add everything that belongs into that particular template. So now if you save that page, it will be, and look at your site, it will be pre-built with all of this information. Okay, I don't want that. I just want this part over here. So what I'm going to do is now go here, have a look at what they've done. So this is the tagline box. Okay, so I need to go in and add a tagline box into my actual homepage here. So if I go to column options, first thing to do, add a full width container. Now I recommend you do this regardless of what the other demo pages do. Add a full width container. Now let's see what they've done. I just need to add a full width tagline box. So I need to add this full width column. Go to Builder Elements and add this tagline box. So drag and drop that. So now I can edit this tagline box. And what I can do to compare is go to this one here and click the edit button here. So now I know what details I need to fill in to make it look like the demo. So if I just compare the two pages, okay, that's all fine. Left, you can change the button text. So say learn more. You can change the URL the link will point to. Let's just take an example. We haven't set this up, but let's say contact. Okay, I want to open this in a new page, so that's blank. If you want it to open in the same page or same browser window, use this self attribute over here. Button size, the default one has it, the demo one has it as large. So I'll use the same, I'll use large. The demo has button shape square and a button type flat. Of course, you can experiment with this in any way you want, but I'm just doing things so that it matches the demo. The button color, default, so that's fine. Tagline title, you can insert your own title in here and your own description over here. So for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to take what's already there and copy and paste. Okay. Now, additional content, you can add some if you want. Okay, what else do we need to change? Animation type, direction of animation, speed, none, down 0.1, so that's all the same. And so that's fine. So this is the demo. I don't need to do anything with that. This is the real site. I'm going to save my changes. And now with everything I add, I will update and show you the update on the front end itself, so you know what it's done and you know how it looks every step of the way. Okay, so now I can view that page. Beautiful, there we go. We've added a nice call to action with some text that you can easily edit, and you know exactly what options you need to change to edit that. Okay, now I've added that element. Now I need to continue to add more elements onto the home page. So if I go back into the demos, let's try homepage version 1. Okay, perhaps I'll add these 3 spinning boxes. They look pretty good. So what I need to do now, homepage version 1, go to my temporary page, as I did before, click on the relevant page or click on the relevant pre-built template, in this case home 1, and yes, I want to replace with the pre-built template. And all of that stuff will come down here. Now these items are the flip boxes. So what I need to do now, go back to my real homepage, scroll down, add another full width container. I recommend you do this by default. This takes up the whole width, so I'll add a full width column and flip boxes from the builder elements. Okay, so that's over there. Drag and drop that. I can edit that. I'll click on the edit button in the temporary page as well, so I know what all the settings are as default. Okay, number of columns, 3. Yep. All of this stuff I can leave blank because it's like that in the default. Okay, flipbox item number 1, I'll open that up. We've got a heading, we've got the backside heading, the front side content, and the backside content. Okay, interesting. So you can fill all of that stuff in. And I'll just copy and paste from the demo for demonstration purposes. You can experiment with all the other settings if you want. And you can choose an icon. Spinning icon, no. Icon width, height. Yep. Direction of the animation down, 0.1. Let's try 0.2. And so that's one flip box set up. Now I can add a new flip box and repeat. Cool, and then I'll add the third. Okay, so I'll save my actual home page and update the page, save the page itself, and then reload the site now to see what that looks like. Okay, good stuff. That's really, really good. So as you can see, you can use this new technique, if I can call it that, to set up pages and elements on the page so that you don't have to actually work from scratch. You can see what the demo or default content is and then use as much of that as you can as a guide. So next, let's have a look at a different page version. So let's see what else is on this page. Actually, you know what? I might add this. I quite like that. So now let's find this. This is the progress bar, okay? And I'll also add that as a half column, but I'll add it on the left. So I'll drag and drop this full width container. I will drag and drop this half column. Then I'll drag and drop another half column to get ready for the next one. And then go to Builder Elements and then drag and drop the progress bar. And as you can see here, they've done 4 of these particular widgets, or 5 of them. So I'll need to drag and drop 5 of them, but I've got a better way and I'll show you that. Just drag and drop 1, because what you can do, you can edit, you can set it all up, and then you can click this link over here and clone element, and it will clone all the settings without having you to do it again. So what I'll do, I'll just edit the first one. I'll go to this one here and edit that one as well. You can pick your percentage. I'll copy that unfilled color back into here. Striped filing, yep. Animated stripes, yep. I actually quite like that, so I'll use that. Progress bar text. So let's enter something here. And that's all. So now I'll save that and update. Okay, cool. So if you're happy with the way that looks, what you can actually do is come back in here, click on the duplicate button. So I've clicked 5 times, so it's duplicated that a number of times. All I need to do now is click on edit and just edit the relevant sections. So maybe it's percentage, and it's probably only the percentage and the text, actually, to be honest. And do that for each one. So as you can see, we're not wasting any time here. Okay, now I'll just save that. And there we go, that looks absolutely fantastic. What I can also do is add a heading over here, or a title. So I think this is a good example of one. Title size, okay. So what I'll do, I'll go in and choose a builder element of title. I'll drag that in here. I'll edit. And then save. So let's see how that looks. There we go. Perfect. Let's try homepage version 3. Perhaps let's add this here. Some checkboxes with some key advantages to choosing our company. Okay, so homepage 3. Once again, go to your temporary page, click on homepage 3. And now go down, and which section is responsible for displaying this area here? Why choose us? Okay, this here. So first, this is a title. So to start with, I will go to the builder elements and then drag and drop a title over there. Title size of 2, and I'll just enter the title here. Okay, and now I need to add checklist. Okay, let's find that. Here it is, drag and drop. Edit. And now let's have a look at what the default checklist look like. Okay. Okay, cool. So it's got different areas for each checklist item. Now, this icon over here, you can set as a global icon. So it says here, global setting for all list items. This can be overridden individually below. So if you select it here, you don't need to select it individually over here. So that's good. I'll go into mine and select that. Icon color, I'll leave as default. Actually, I'll copy and paste this. This translates to white. Icon circle, yes. Circle color, default. As you can see there. The item size, small. Okay, cool. So it looks like these are all global settings, so you don't have to select them in each item, in each checklist item. So now if I go here, all I should be able to do is enter a new checklist, some text over here. Brilliant step-by-step video tutorials to help you make a website with WordPress easily. Create your own. Actually, I'll put that in the next item. So checklist item 2. Okay, let me just save that for the time being and click on update. I just want to make sure it's appearing as I intend before I go too much further. Yep, that looks fine. Perfect. Okay, so I'll keep doing that. I'll add maybe 5 or 6 check marks. Perfect. That's really starting to take shape now. Okay, so what should we do next? Let's choose another element. So let's try another homepage version. I like this. Let's do that. Some services and links to the service pages. Okay, so that was homepage version 7. And the content boxes. So in my real homepage, I'll just go along and add what I need to. So starting with the full width container. This element will take a full width. Then I can go into builder elements and find the content boxes. There we go. And then I can edit. Okay, parent level settings will control all box styles together. Child level settings will control each box style individually. So you can either choose settings for all the boxes or choose to adjust them separately. So I'll do it in the same way the demo is doing it. So content box layout, classic icon on top. Number of columns, 4. You can obviously change that to how many columns you want, 3, 4, 5, it's up to you. Content alignment. I don't think it works with this particular layout, but that's fine, I'll just leave it. Okay, icon background default, yep. Link type, link area, link target. Now, link target is interesting. If you want each one of the links to open in a new window, I suggest this. Okay, so these were all the overall settings. Now what you need to do is actually add the content for each box. So let's have a look at the demo. And then you'll have to enter a URL to link that to. Obviously the pages are not set up yet, so for now I'll just enter some dummy URLs. So link URL. Obviously, once all the pages on your website are set up, you would adjust these linked URLs so that each one of these go to the relevant page on your website. And that's fine. So you need to do the same thing for each one of those items or each one of those content boxes. And the fourth one, okay, so when you've done that, you can save and update your page to see what that looks like on your website. That's awesome. So why am I missing a link here? Let's just investigate. So that's interesting. If you've got no text, link text, it doesn't actually show the learn more or whatever it is. It just links this directly to whichever page you send it. And of course, we used an underscore blank setting for new pages. See that there? So all that means is when you click on a link, it opens in a new tab. It doesn't load in the same screen. Okay, good stuff. Making good progress here. Of course, if you have any questions while you're watching this, please do ask me in the comments below. Okay, now let's have a look at another homepage. Let's try 14 again. I like these counters actually. I might use that. So I'll load up home page 14 in my temporary page. And it should be this here, the counter box. So a number of columns, 4, yep. Default. And then the items in the counter box. So this one's pretty straightforward to set up. So let's just copy the theme. Now I haven't selected an icon, so it doesn't show one. Counter direction. Okay, let's check that out. There we go. I really like that feature actually. It's a really nice dynamic feature to have on a website. It makes it look really modern. And I can see recently that there are trends towards having these kind of counters on websites just to add a little bit of depth to the site. Okay, next, I want to insert a map on our page. Now, I'm pretty sure there is a map in homepage version 12. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I want to do precisely the same thing here. Have a map with the business location. So you would have your map with your business location and the address. So I want to do the exact same thing here. Homepage version 12. So I'll import that into my temporary page. There we are. Okay, so what do I need to do? Full width container. Now, I don't want this to be a full width map. I think I'll just have a half and half. And you can also duplicate containers. So if I didn't have that, I could just click this clone element here and it would clone it right over there. Okay, so I need to add Google Map. And start configuring that. Okay. I'll just make sure the settings are the same. The height, it's slightly different, but you can set that to whatever you want. Map overlay color. Now this is an interesting one. Your map's look and feel will be determined by this overlay color. So you can choose one, or you can actually leave it as blank, so you can clear this and it'll just be default. So I'll leave it as default. And address. Obviously you would enter your business address. And that's it. Let's check that out. That's really good. Happy with that. So now if I change that overlay color, you'll see how the look and feel of the map changes. There you go. Okay, now I need to add our address in text. So what have they done here? They've added a separator, and then it looks like a text box or a title box. Okay, so I'll do the same. Builder elements, I'll add a separator and just check what kind of separator. No style, I think that's fine. And add a text block. Actually, I'll add a title block. It's not a text block, it's a title block. And the size is a H4, which is smaller than a H1. You can choose the type of separator you want. A solid line or a dashed line, it's completely up to you. I will just copy and paste this default. Actually, I'll just clear that and leave it as default. Top margin, bottom margin, they haven't located anything. They haven't input anything. Located in, okay. You can add some text under the title. And that's all. They've also added another separator and the actual address in a block under that. So this is a text block. Okay, so I'll just copy this text. I'll duplicate this separator and just drag it down there. And then find a text block. And you'll notice whenever you're entering text, there are two tabs over here. There's a text tab and a visual tab. The text tab should always be used when you're entering any code, any HTML. Otherwise, you should always use the visual tab. And this is very similar to Microsoft Word, and I'm sure you know what all this stuff is about. So I'll just copy and paste what was in the other demo site. and you can actually add a hyperlink by using this icon over here. And you can choose to make it open in a new window or tab, or otherwise it will open in the same window. Okay. Save when you're ready, and let's check out what it looks like now. That's excellent. Good stuff. I'm really happy with that so far. Okay, now back in home page 14, I saw some accordions that I wanted to add. They're a nice little feature when you don't want to take up too much space on your site, but still want information available to your users when they need it. So I'm going to add this accordion block. I'll probably add it right next to my map actually. So I'll close that for now. In my temp page, home page 14. Where is it? It's this one here, the toggles. And to be honest, this is actually very easy to set up. All you need is a title and some text. There's not much to these toggle accordions. So I'm just copying and pasting from the demo as per usual. So there we go. Pretty straightforward actually. Perfect. Perhaps I'll add some testimonials on a page. So I know there are some on homepage 16. As you can see, all these home pages look really, really cool. So that one there, I'll add this onto our site. Okay. So I need thirds and a testimonial block in each third. and then you can enter the name, avatar, and the description of your testimonial. And I'll just save that. I'm pretty sure I can just duplicate that and then copy things in later on. So I'll just get rid of these two and I'll duplicate this one. And then I'll change the text a bit later on. There we go. So it doesn't quite look like the demo. So we're definitely missing something. So let's check it out. Here is the one we imported from the pre-built template. So let's have a look at what we're missing. Okay, so we're missing all this stuff above the testimonial. This is basically a text block with some large text, which is a heading 1 text, and some normal paragraph text. So what I'll do, I'll add the same thing. If I go to builder elements, I'll find the text block and drag that in above the testimonials. And I'll just copy and paste all of this stuff. Okay, we're also missing a separator. No style with some margin. Now, if you've got a lot of gaps in your home page, you can adjust margins wherever you need to. Cool. And that margin, I think, was 20 pixels. So I'll try that, I'll update, and I can make any adjustments later on whenever I need to. So you don't have to get it right first time. It's all about trial and error and getting a look that suits your business website. One other thing that the demo has that I don't is a nice background image, and I can easily achieve that. All I need to do is go to the box that's around the testimonial, so this full width container. As you can see, there's a couple of different tabs: background, design, and pretty much that's where the background of this particular area is coming from. And to be honest, you can add a background to any one of the elements that we've added throughout this process of building a homepage. So let me do that now. I'll go and add a background on this testimonial panel. Cool, so that's all default. Okay, let's choose a background image. Obviously, you can upload one from your media library, or you can use one as that's already been uploaded through the import. So I might try this one here. Looks interesting. It's all about trial and error. You can add a parallax, or you can remove the parallax, and I'll show you that a bit later. For now, let's just save and see what that looks like. So as you can see, that image probably isn't right for this area. So it's just a matter of going in and editing that image, adding your own or choosing a different image. So it's completely your choice. Let's try this. Alrighty, next I'm just going to give you a quick intro on the content editor and also show you how you can add multiple pages, as many pages as you want to your website. Now say you want to add a page for every section of your site, for example an About Us page, a portfolio page, a contact page. Say you have a number of services here and you want to add a page for each service so you can detail each service or product, so you can link off from your homepage here and have links going to each individual page. The way to do that is just simply go to pages and add new, and you can add an unlimited number of pages. If you want to manage pages, just go to all pages and you can either trash or edit from this section here. So if you click add new, you'll get to a screen where you can add your title, your text, and also importantly choose a template. So a default template has a sidebar, whereas 100% width page is full width, obviously. So I'll be showing you how to use this contact page in a second, but before I do that, a brief intro on the visual editor. You'll notice here that there are two tabs, visual and text. Only use the text tab when you're entering code. For example, you're inputting some code from Google Maps, or you're embedding a YouTube video, you would put that in the text tab because it actually collects code and renders that accordingly. However, the visual tab works very similar to a word processor. You've got all your functions, for example, titles, headings, you can bold, you can italic, you can do all of that stuff. You can add a link, so that's that icon there. You can add quotes, you can add bullet lists. To be honest, it's exactly the same as a word editor, so I don't see you having too many problems with that. But if you have any questions about what you're seeing here, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you. If you're not seeing everything, just click on this toggle toolbar and you'll be able to see everything. So hopefully that's okay, but if you have any questions, please do get in touch via the comments below. Okay, now I'll show you how to set up a content page on your website and also adjust the sidebar. Now this is very important because I'm sure you'll have many content pages on your site. So to add a new page, go to Pages and Add New. Now say that we're organizing or preparing a page called Our Services. Just as an example, it's going to be a static content page. I'm just going to use some dummy data that I've got on another screen here for demonstration. Okay, stuff you can do here, maybe you can put something in a quote. So if I highlight this and click on this block quote, it'll actually put that in a quote format, and you'll see what that looks like on the front end in a second. It looks really, really cool. Okay. You can also add images. So if I go to add media, you can select some media from your media library, or you can upload a new image. So let's choose one as an example. Link to none, and you can adjust the sizing if need be. Now for a content page, it's important to have a default template. Okay, so I'll click publish and show you what that looks like. So at the moment, it's a full width page. And you can see the nice little block quote over here. It's a nice little feature. It makes the page look much better visually. Okay, so what I want to do is add a sidebar, maybe to the left. So what I would do is I'd scroll down, and in these page options, I'd just go to sidebar, select the default sidebar, and then sidebar position. Left or right, it doesn't matter, it's up to you. So there you go. Now you can see there is a sidebar with a bunch of stuff we probably don't need. So how do we edit this sidebar? That's the important question. Back into your dashboard, if you go to Appearance and Widgets, you'll see a section for blog sidebar. There are a bunch of things here. If you click the down arrow, you'll be able to delete any of these sections that you don't want. So I don't want the search, recent comments, archives, categories, meta. I don't want all of that stuff. So I'll get rid of that. Okay, I'll just refresh to see what it looks like now. So I've got some tabs here which I can probably configure if I wanted to. Some accordions if I wanted to configure that. Recent work, some testimonials. I'll probably get rid of the tabs. Recent works I'll keep in. Obviously you can adjust that when you want. Recent posts I'll get rid of. Contact info. Maybe you don't want your contact info in the sidebar. You can delete that. So here's what it looks like now. And if you wanted to add anything back, say for example you wanted to add the contact info on any sidebar or your blog sidebar, all you do is drag and drop this contact info into this area here. Now, if you look around, you'll notice that there are a lot of different things you can do. You can add some social links, drag and drop. And the order in which they appear are dictated by where they appear in this configuration. So you can drag and drop like I'm doing here to change the order in which all these things appear in your sidebar. Okay, so you can configure your social links if you like. I'll leave that out for now. So I'll just get rid of that. And like I did before, I added the contact info. So you'd just be able to fill out all the fields here, and just like magic, all of that stuff will appear in your sidebar. If you have any questions about that, please do let me know and I'll be happy to answer. Similar to how you can configure your sidebar, you can also configure your footer and all these other sidebars that are available, or what I should call them widget areas, but I won't go into too much detail right now because it's probably not something you want to learn about at this stage. But update your blog sidebar because that's the main default sidebar that we will be using for any of your static content pages. Now I'll just run you through how to make changes to the footer area over here, down the bottom of your website. So if you go back into your dashboard and in the Appearance tab, you should see widgets. Just click on that. Now the one we want to change are these footer widgets 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is widget 1, footer widget 1. Footer 2 is in there, there's nothing in there. 3 and 4. That all corresponds to these 4 areas over here. So now, similar to how the sidebar works, where we added different elements to the sidebar area, you can add different elements to the footer widget area. So if you open this up, you'll see that there will be a piece of text by default. Now this correlates to this stuff over here. So all you need to do is edit anything you want in that box, or you can actually drag new stuff over. For example, contact info, social links, and all this other stuff, calendars, You can also create a custom menu. Here it is. So let's go ahead and make changes to our footer widget. So I'll leave the first one as is. The second one, recent posts. The reason why nothing's showing up is because there's no recent posts at the moment. There are no posts. I'll just delete that. Now let's see, what can I do? I might add some social links. So I might drag and drop that in. I'll leave all this other stuff as default. Now all you need to do is enter your social media links in the fields you want the icon to appear. For any fields that you don't enter any URLs in, it just won't appear. Now you can do this in your own time. I'll just put some dummy data in here just so you can see how it works. So let's pretend I had all these social media pages set up. Then click save. So there you go, that's added that over there. And they will link off to the links that you put in this area here. What else can you do here? You can possibly add some contact info. That's actually a good idea. So maybe I'll get rid of these categories in footer widget 3 and add some contact info. That's pretty cool. You'll see that it automatically puts in the words phone and fax, so I don't need to repeat that. Okay, I can actually also add a custom menu. So why don't I move this contact us information under the social links, and you can do that by just dragging and dropping like that. So you can drag and drop anything in this interface. It's really easy to use, and that will update on the front end. Like so. So I might add a custom menu here. To add a custom menu, you can actually drag and drop this widget over here. But to actually create a menu, you can go to menus and create a new menu. And perhaps you can link some important links in your footer. So maybe our services, contact, and any other important pages that you want to add to the menu. Okay, and I'll just save that menu. And I'll just refresh this page. Because ideally that menu should be selectable, and there it is. And there you go. That's how to customize this footer area. Now there's no doubt you want to know how to edit this region over here as well. That's just as easy as the first. Go to theme options this time. Now within theme options, you should find an area called footer. So I'm just looking for that. Here it is. Okay. By the way, just taking a detour here, but if you wanted to change the number of columns in the other footer, that's this setting over here. But anyway, scroll all the way down. In copyright bar, you've got the option to display this copyright area or hide it completely using this checkbox. So it's completely up to you what you want to do. You can check this box to center the copyright bar. And in this field here, you can actually edit what's shown over here. So let's say copyright 2015, eMedia Coach, how to make a website. Just as an example, you can change the padding if you want to. Now see these social icons over here? You can control all of that using these social icon options. Firstly, you can choose to show or hide any of the social media icons using that checkbox. You can change the size of those icons using this fancy little slider over here. And you can change the colors and all of that stuff. Now, let me just save all that. So there you go, you can see that's changed. To control where each of these social links go, it's actually in a slightly different page. So if you scroll back up and then find social media in this area, there it is, social media. And it's these links here that you need to update. So obviously you would enter your social media links in these fields. Now obviously I'm just doing this as an example, so I'll just copy and paste that link just as a demo. So say I have all of those social media pages set up and I want to link to each of those from this area. That's all I need to do. And then go down and save changes and that will all update. It's as easy as that. It's really user friendly and it looks absolutely amazing. Okay, I'll show you how to add a contact page now and it's going to look absolutely brilliant. So let's go to pages and add a new page. Let's call it contact. And now I want you to go to template and select the contact template and just publish. Now let's view that page. You'll see that without doing too much now, this contact template that we selected has enabled this nice big Google map, as well as this contact form where your customers or people looking at your site can fill out this form and get in touch with you via email. So now let's start from top to bottom. Let's edit this map so we can edit your locations. Then I'll add some text in this area here, and then we'll configure this form. So as you can see here, there's a notification here that we need to set an email address for this form to work. So let's start from the top. Let's start with the map and the locations on the map. And that's pretty cool. You can actually show multiple locations if you have multiple offices. So it's really, really handy. So back into the Avada theme dashboard, you'll need to go to Appearance and Theme Options. Now I'll just open that in a new tab. Okay, now I want to look for the contact area. Here it is. Firstly, go to the Google Map options. If you expand that, you'll see these are all the settings that configure this particular Google Map. So the width, 100%, yep, it takes up the full width of the screen. The height, you can change that if you want to make the height of the map larger or smaller. This doesn't matter here if your map is 100%. Now your address, you can see each address is separated by this pipe symbol, and for me it's located just under the backspace on my keyboard. So if I press Shift and that key over there, it will result in this pipe symbol. So what you can do is you can edit your addresses or your multiple locations. If you only have one, obviously just enter one location in this field here. So obviously you would enter your exact business address, your precise street location or street address. I'm just going to use it as an example. So let's say New York, San Francisco, and Chicago. Let's see what that comes up with. You can set a zoom level. The higher the number, the more zoomed in it will be. You can hide the address pins if you like. And you can do a bunch of other things as well, such as disable the scroll wheel. When someone hovers over the map and uses the scroll wheel on the mouse, it will zoom in and out. So you can disable that if you like. There's more stuff in here. As you can see, it's using the custom styling, or we can use default styling or the theme styling. I urge you to experiment with that and see what suits best, see what look you like for your particular website. Now, custom styling, I'll just choose a different color as an example. Okay, now info box content. See these boxes that are appearing here? These are the info boxes. So what I need to do is basically edit each one of these. And the order in which these appear are very important. So the first one here corresponds with the first address you've put in over here, and so on and so forth. The second and the third correspond to the second and third info boxes that you enter in here. So let's change some of that around just to experiment. And then when you're done with that, you can go down and save all changes. So let's just refresh and see how that looks now. So there you go. As you can see, the colors changed because I've chosen the custom color. We've got our pins here, and we've also got the little info boxes that we put. Now, if you don't want the info boxes, you can actually get rid of that whole box, and it would get rid of all of that information. What you can actually put, a good example is put your address, so that when somebody clicks on the pin, they can easily see your address. Now, that's what I would advise. Obviously, I'm just doing this as an example, so it's a bit different, but I would recommend you put your address over here. We can change the color. I don't really like that color, so maybe I'll just change it to something a bit lighter. Good stuff. Okay, next, I want to add some text before the form. So now back to where you added your contact form. If you add text in this area here, this visual editor, that text will appear right in between this contact form and the map, smack bang right in between. So I'm just going to use some dummy text that I have here on another screen. So I'll just copy and paste it across. And maybe I'll put some styling in there with a block quote. Actually, you know what? I might actually use this page builder function, and I'll make it look a little bit nicer. So maybe I'll have a 2/3 and a 1/3. I'll add some text on the left. And I can do all that stuff in here as well. And then say on the right, I'll add some social media links, because obviously this is our contact us page. so people might want to add their social media. You can choose your settings. I'll just leave everything as default for now. Enter all your social media links. Okay, you can change the alignment, left, right, center, and let's click save and check that out. Perfect. Okay, under that maybe I'll add some accordions. That would be these toggles over here. Once again, I'll just get some dummy text to fill this out. You can open one by default as well if you want. Pretty cool. Now, if you watch the section on the homepage build, you'll be very familiar with this. There you go. It does look a little bit cramped up, so we can actually separate or add some spacing in there. So margin top and margin bottom, when you're adding spacing, do it in pixels, but don't enter px. So don't enter that. So let's just try, say 35 pixels. Okay. Actually, I might add a solid line as well. I'll actually add 20 above and 20 below. Okay. I'll also add a title above the social links. Okay, let's give that a shot. Okay, now let's move on to the contact form. As you can see here, there's a notification saying that the email address isn't set in the theme options, so we need to fill that out. So last but not least, let's go back into theme options. And back down to the contact section. And it's this field here, email address. So enter whatever your contact email address is here. And there we go. We can now fill in anything we want. Your users would be able to send in an inquiry to you. User's email address. And there you go, there's a notification for the successfully sent email. Now if you log into your email address, if you've put your correct email address in that setting there, you'll receive that in your inbox and be able to reply to your customer instantly. So there you go, that's an easy way to set up a lovely looking contact page on your website. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Whenever you have all of your pages set up, you can easily adjust and customize the menu you're looking at over here. I'll quickly show you how to do that. So if you go back into your dashboard and hover over Appearance and click on Menus. Now you should see a main navigation tab over here. If not, just choose that and press select. And now these menu items correspond with what we're looking at over here. So we've got home, we've got a few pages under home, sliders, pages, and as you can see, it all corresponds to what's appearing. Now the way you customize this is you can actually drag and drop. It's a really intuitive drag and drop feature where you can drag and drop pages or posts or anything else, any custom links that you want to add to your menu. So you can drag and drop sub menu items, you can drag and drop main menu items, so you can move that block over here. And when you indent something like that, it becomes a sub item and becomes a drop down. And you can actually have two levels, so I'll show you something like this. So as you can see, it's really easy to use and really intuitive. So now you want to add the items for your website, so I would suggest just leave that as is. There's an easier way to do things. So if you create a new menu and just give it a new title. Okay, so we've created a brand new menu. Now what we want to do is assign this to the main navigation. Currently there is a different menu assigned to the main nav, but we want to assign this new custom menu to the main navigation. So click that. And there we go, the menu is blank. We can now start from scratch. What we can do, we can actually add all these pages that we've created into our menu structure. So let's go ahead and do that. I've obviously created a few more pages just for an example. Okay, so say we want home at the top because we want it to appear first. Okay, our services, service 1 under our services, service 2, 3 and 4. Now what I can do, I can actually rearrange everything like you just saw. Another really cool thing I can do, I can add custom links to the menu, so I can add absolutely anything I want. Add it to the menu. And then when you're ready, save the menu and then refresh your site and you should have a brand new custom menu in a matter of a few minutes. There you go. Absolutely perfect. If you have any questions about that, please do give me a yell. I'll be happy to help. The reason this shopping cart appears is probably because you've got the WooCommerce plugin enabled. So if you're not using any e-commerce functionality, I would recommend you go into plugins, install plugins, and then deactivate WooCommerce. Then this shopping cart should disappear. So there you go. Easy way to customize your main navigation. And that's it. If you have any questions about anything you've seen in this tutorial, please do ask me in the comments below because I'll do my best to help you out. And all I need from you is a big thumbs up on this video, subscribe to my channel, and please do click the share button as well and share it on social media. I really hope you found this valuable. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.